Mary had tried everything to get her romance books to sell just a few more copies. The problem was nothing was working. She had tried absolutely everything, but was she trying the right tools? Well, that's one of the reasons why in today's video we are going to discuss self-publishing a novel, 3 tools with underrated benefits. So Mary she's from Sydney, Australia, and the thing is, she's been writing books for a number of years in the shapeshifter romance genre. The thing with this particular genre is that in the early days, there were an awful lot of sales. Almost any book that you put onto the market would sell because the readers of these particular novels would always be interested in reading as many books as they could possibly get their hands on. And after a period of time, the market started to flood. More and more books began coming onto this specific market. The thing with Mary, though, is she was trying to get more readers, trying to find a bigger audience, trying to expand the boundaries that she had been limited to. But her sales began to level off and even began sinking. And it was trying to figure out what exactly she needed to do in order to bump the sales. So she had seen that other shifter romance authors were continuing to rank higher and higher, whereas she as an author was dropping lower into the rankings on Amazon. So it couldn't just purely be the issue of maybe her exact books or something with maybe the whole niche itself, because there were people who were still doing well. So she began to see that if this continued, she was going to be losing income over the upcoming years, and maybe people wouldn't even buy her books at all in the upcoming in the future. And so was it perhaps just a bubble that she had taken advantage of in the early years, and now it was too late, that this gold rush that was there for these shifter romance was suddenly gone? So she thought that maybe a couple things that she could do. One was adding additional characters to her story, and that's what she did with her books, and that really didn't have any impact at all. Another thing she tried was if she could just shift the plot a little bit, making the plot having some twists and turns that hadn't been there. The problem was it wasn't an issue with the books themselves. The content and the manuscripts really were not particularly the problem, but more on the marketing side to how she had found the audience originally. Just by having the shapeshifter romance in the title, that was sufficient to bring in a steady stream of new readers, but this wasn't going to cut it now. And especially since she knew for a fact that the methods that she had tried previously were not working, and that changing the contents definitely wasn't going to make a difference, even though she did attempt to try it. So what happened was she checked out below in the description and booked a free discovery session with me. So we sat down and we took a deep dive into this particular genre, which I personally had not done before. And as we went down, we started noticing some things. And the big one was she wasn't looking closely at her competitors. She assumed, well, they were doing shifter romances just like she was doing, so there really wasn't that much of a difference. But what we discovered was the type of shifter romance she was doing was one where the market was flooded, but there were in fact sub-niches there that were still making lots of sales, but not many books on the market for those specific sales. So what we did was we took a look using tool number 1, KD Spy, giving us the ability to spy on our competitors to see exactly how they rank for specific keywords as a prime way of figuring this whole puzzle out. The second thing we did was we used, once we had gone through all of the keywords that we thought would be profitable keywords, we went on to the next one using Publisher Rocket, which is another favorite tool of mine, in order to hone in and find these additional profitable keywords that she hadn't already considered. Then we plugged those keywords back into KD Spy in order to figure out who was winning the game on those. That is, books in the top 100,000 that are ranking for these keywords, and then finding the keywords where there's not that many books, that beautiful ratio in there, in order to explore this. And then we started seeing some nuggets, some little gold nuggets inside the mix of these keywords for this specific genre. The final thing we did was we took a look at Google Trends, absolutely free tool, in order to see how this shifter romance, and plugging some of these additional keywords that we've been playing with in there to see some of them which were starting to go on the rise. And now we knew enough information in order to figure this out. And each of these tools you can find below in the description for my affiliate links for each of these exact tools. And you can always contact me if you have any questions on how to properly use these tools. And so the thing is that by plugging this in and using the combination, not just one tool and trying one search, but going through these, we were able to figure out a couple of the patterns and trends in directions she could take her books. And so this was very helpful to her and gave her an idea of where she wanted to go just by sitting down with a free discovery session. You also can, of course, book a free discovery session. Find it below, absolutely free, in the description. No commitment to buy absolutely anything. I really enjoy self-publishing. I'm always looking for new ways of looking through your books to figure out ways we can sell more books, which is a lot of fun, especially when you've really gone through the process and you see that when you put a book on the market, it's not going to sell itself. So getting back to Mary again, so she finally faced the ultimate obstacle, which was she realized this keyword research stuff is not super easy. It takes a lot of work. It's easy in one sense, but it really requires you looping through over and over through a list of keywords and then trying things and then guessing and then going back and forth. Another tool is even Uber I suggested to her to take a look at that because it spits out for free a bunch of keywords related to this particular thing that people are searching for, and then Katie Spy again to find out if they're actually selling for it. Just because people are searching doesn't mean those books are actually selling, and that combination gave it really powerful. And what she discovered was that a few sub niches in the shapeshifter romance particular genre that really were making a killing, that almost any books in that market were in fact selling a lot of copies. And so what she did was she pivoted and started putting books into that particular market. Really the same storyline and plot structure, just using this specific profitable keywords and these particular ones both in the title and the subtitle to make it clear, and also in terms of the covers matching these best sellers within this sub niche. And what magically happened? Well, guess what? She started seeing sales on her books coming in, and not only that, some of her older books got a bump as well, as new readers were coming in, really loved her stuff, and were interested in the older type of shapeshifter stuff that had been on the market. And keep in mind, there are trends going up and down continually. We just simply wish to ride it. You need to think about yourself as an author as a surfer. You're surfing waves. The waves are coming up and down. Now, we don't want to just ride a wave that's going nowhere. We want to see a pattern emerging where that wave's been there for a little bit of time, but then we're going to ride that wave, and we see that it starts to going downwards again. We're looking for the next wave within our lane, within our same niche that we're in, and we simply do it. So if you're into gardening, suddenly vertical gardening becomes popular, or Zen Buddhist gardens or something, you can pivot slightly in order to put books on the market that people are interested in. And don't think that just because you've written a book on shapeshifter romance, like a bear shifter or something, werebear, shifter bear romance, that you have to stay there. You can in fact move on over to another particular market to see, and the key with all of this was just finding the right tools in order to do it. And these 3 tools were particularly the most powerful ones that I have found when it comes to keyword research. My question for you is, what tools have you found that have made the biggest difference when publishing your novels? Let me know below in the comments. I respond to every single one of them, and check up above me here for another video. Thanks.